Hello everyone, I'm Darren Edwards and I am the Sales Enablement Manager at Syspro Global, and I'll be your host today for today's webinar on how Syspro's ERP smart manufacturing solutions drive business success. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for today's Syspro webinar. Cindy Dutres is an industry expert in enterprise software solutions for the manufacturing and distribution industries. She's also a technology industry analyst who specializes on the impact of enterprise applications on business performance. Cindy has over 40 years of corporate experience and specific expertise in manufacturing, supply chain, customer service, and business performance management. Prior to founding her current company, Mint Dutres, Cindy was Vice President, Research Fellow, and Group Director for the Aberdeen Group. She has a real specialty in survey-based research and analysis on ERP and suite-based enterprise applications, and is the author of a book, ERP Optimization. And if you Google Cindy, you'll find her name attached to numerous manufacturing and IT industry reports and benchmark studies. So welcome, Cindy.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Cindy is also joined today by Paolo Di Matos, Global Chief Product Officer at Syspro. With more than 24 years experience at Syspro, Paolo has made a tangible impact in the areas of sales and product development. Paolo is an industry expert who is passionate about delivering the right ERP product solution for customers within the manufacturing and distribution sectors. In his role, Paolo is responsible for ensuring that maximum business value is achieved from Syspro's offerings in the market. He and his team determine this through ongoing research and identifying industry trends to anticipate users' aspirations and industry-specific requirements. And through his contribution to product proficiency, Syspro customers experience improved productivity, bottom-line results, and accelerate their time to value. Welcome, Paolo.
Thanks, Darren. It's great to be here.
Okay, let's get right into it. Today, we will cut through some of the noise surrounding smart manufacturing and digital technologies and bring it back to basics that matter to you. What is smart manufacturing and its role in supporting growth? What to consider in plotting your smart manufacturing journey? And we'll give you some information around how Syspro can support your journey towards smart manufacturing. And at the end of the presentation, we'll tell you how you can get a copy of the Mint Dutres report on the topics that we are covering today. Cindy, where did the term smart manufacturing come from and what does it mean?
Well, Darren, smart manufacturing, as the term clearly implies, is all about bringing an added level of intelligence to both the manufacturing process as well as the business of manufacturing. I might also add that it brings a level of connectivity as well. With the rise of the fourth industrial revolution, manufacturers can take advantage of new technologies such as the Internet of Things, robotics, artificial intelligence, all to enable operational efficiency. It's also a term used by the California Manufacturing Technology Center, or shortened up CMTC. CMTC really states smart manufacturing enables all information about the manufacturing process to be available when it is needed, where it is needed, and in the form it's needed across the entire manufacturing value chain to power smart decisions. The concept enables manufacturers to benefit in a number of ways. Islands of efficiency become interoperable, networked, and resilient. When applied to enterprise applications like ERP, solutions can improve performance for all manufacturers of any size, level of technical sophistication, or resource availability, and at a lower cost. It's really about unlocking real-time data that might be otherwise inaccessible or unused today. But of course, this requires new technology tools to do that, but in turn creates the potential of delivering business benefits faster across the manufacturing enterprise.
Cindy, if I can just jump in here, smart manufacturing, or the acronym SM, that's a term that's additionally used by the Clean Energy Smart Manufacturing Innovation Institute, or SESME for short. So SESME brings together a consortium of nearly 200 partners, and this ranges from participants in academia, industry, nonprofits, from more than 30 states across the US of A. So last year, Syspro, importantly, we've partnered with SESME as part of a community that is helping US manufacturing companies adopt smart manufacturing practices and technologies. This group created the smart manufacturing term as a universal objective for all manufacturers, specifically to innovate and to drive change that leads to better business performance. In fact, its stated mission reads, to ensure the power of change and innovation is at the fingertips of every manufacturer.
So Paulo, it's really all about helping manufacturers run better and smarter, and that certainly seems to have resonated with Syspro.
So Cindy, have you done any research on how manufacturers feel about this whole concept, what they do feel about digital, and how they connect value to the new digital technologies that are available to them? Or is it more about the how to get there problem?
Well, the answer to your first question, Darren, have I done any research on this? The answer is yes. For the past 9 years, Mint Jutris has conducted an annual enterprise solution study, which investigates perceptions, goals, challenges, and the status of software that's used to run a business, and as well as researching the impact of these solutions on the enterprise. So last year's study included 464 participants, including 227 manufacturers from all sizes, from very small to very large, and representing a broad range of industries. In 2019, we probed into the sentiments surrounding digital technologies, and this is the chart that shows the results. What's interesting is that manufacturers are buying in conceptually, but concept and reality aren't necessarily the same thing. The majority of manufacturers, 74%, agree that digital technologies have the potential of fundamentally changing the way we do business. 66% believe these new technologies are necessary for survival. And you can see a good percentages see them as providing a competitive advantage and are influencing the way we plan for the future. Yet, only 39% really know where to begin to make that happen.
So the desire is there, but they lack the knowledge and expertise to create a viable strategy. Is it easier for manufacturers to get there by working through a tech checklist of technology priorities? Which ones do they perceive have the most value?
Well, in this same study, we did ask participants about the perceived value of several of these technologies that you see here on this chart, anything from blockchain, smart robots, virtual assistants, RPA, IoT, 3D printing, analytics, and some others. As you can also see, there's a fairly wide spread on perceived value. While a growing percentage of manufacturers perceive these technologies as providing strong value, on average about 1 in 4, that's the second column here, are unsure of the value. Essentially, they're saying, show me. Others see little to no value or simply don't know. And yet, I would argue that investment in these kinds of technologies is essential to digital transformation, which in turn is a prerequisite for smart manufacturing. Now, some of the highest ranking technologies for perceived value are predictive analytics, cognitive analytics, the Internet of Things, and robotic process automation isn't all that far behind. But there seems to be far less understanding of or the lack of interest in wearables, beacons, smart robots, digital twins. All of these are actually quite useful, and very much so in particular to manufacturers.
Wow, it's very interesting. Paolo, does Syspro have any customers that have taken the leap towards becoming a smart manufacturer?
Most certainly. We have a Syspro customer that has really benefited from the shift towards smart manufacturing, specifically an organization called BKB Shift. So BKB, in fact, has the largest sheep shearing team in the world. It can hold anywhere up to 6 auctions a week. In fact, its producers shear in excess of 12 million sheep per year, approximately 63% of South Africa's total output. So this is a very interesting case, because through interfacing with Syspro's latest ERP solution, which employs the capability to embrace IoT technologies, BKB could take the entire auction process online. Today, BKB has taken on the role of digitally transforming the entire agricultural industry in South Africa and well beyond its borders. BKB now offers a combination of blockchain solutions, IoT solutions within their supply chain, and ultimately a much greater value to their customers. So this is an example of an agricultural service provider, and what they're doing now is actually offering the digital transformation capabilities not only within their own organization, but to their customers too.
So it's clear that in order to become a smart manufacturer, you need to digitally transform your business. While very large enterprises might make this a priority with dedicated IT staff and probably deep pockets, there are probably many others today that really can't explore these other options beyond what they're doing today. But because they have limited resources and not such deep pockets. So it's understandable that they're consumed by the day-to-day challenges of operating in today's fast-paced, ever-changing global digital economy. Mr. Moss, who's featured on this slide, he is the GM for BKB Shift, and he recognized this challenge. This quote is from him, and I'm going to read it to you because I feel it's so important. The problem with digital transformation is you don't know what you don't know. And even once you realize that what you currently do could be done better, you don't know where to begin. So what makes this, in my mind, so interesting is the perspective from which he's speaking. He's speaking from the perspective of managing operations for a 100-year-old company in the South African agricultural sector. Agriculture is probably the last industry you'd expect to see as pioneers in digital transformation or smart manufacturing. And yet, BKB appears to have reinvented the way it does business through digital technology. The key is to understand how to plot your digital transformation journey right from the onset and understand what's needed to take that first vital step.
It would appear that manufacturers are clearly intrigued by the possibilities digital transformation can bring. And they might even perceive the value of digital technologies in manufacturing, but they don't always know how to leverage a digital opportunity. Cindy, what are the building blocks of digital transformation that manufacturers should be considering?
Well, there are really three pillars on which digital transformation should be based. As you can see here, customer experience, your own operational processes, and that fundamental business model on which for which those operations need to support. This is perhaps the element requiring the most transformation because existing business models are shifting. They're changing, and we're seeing entirely new business models emerge. To delve a little deeper into each of these from a customer experience perspective, your customers are at the heart of your business. Without them, you have no business. Traditionally, the best businesses were those that knew their customers the best. And I would argue that today it's no different. But while that might have been easy back when the pace of business and the pace of change was slow, and also when offering a standard product was acceptable. But it's not easy today. Customers are far more demanding, often demanding a level of personalization or customization that used to be impossible. Today, manufacturers need to understand, profile, and categorize their customers. This way, you have a better understanding of their individual needs. Digital capabilities can provide analytics-based segmentation. Socially informed knowledge can provide further understanding. In fact, I'm told one of Syspro's customers embraced this concept of socially informed knowledge. They shifted from doing print media advertising to doing advertising on Facebook. By doing this, they've been able to know their customers a lot better and in far more real or near real time. Now they connect with customers and service them far better. In the end, it's about that top line growth, creating new selling channels, streamlining customer processes. It's about creating, understanding, and really managing multiple customer touch points. Now, from an operational perspective, operations are really the foundation of any manufacturing business. Digitizing processes removes variability and streamlines operations. Automation lets employees contribute at a much higher level, and digital technologies foster communication and collaboration. Now, from last but not least, manufacturing business models can be taken to the next level. We're rapidly becoming a more service and subscription-based economy. The internet has really leveled the playing field. Any company of any size today can develop a global brand, and this opens new windows of opportunity. But without digital support, those windows can close just as quickly as they open. And of course, none of this would be possible without digital capabilities such as unified data and processes, analytics, business and IT integration.
Wow, that makes it absolutely clear to me that you need to keep your customers, business operations, and the business model at the top of mind when embarking on a digital transformation journey. Cindy, what are the preliminary steps that manufacturers need to kick these things off?
Well, the first step is to plot your digital transformation journey objectives. And those should be based on those three foundational elements about which I just spoke: customer experience, operational process, and business model. Here's one example of the customer experience journal. Perhaps a manufacturer wants to achieve top-line growth over the next year. That manufacturer might want to do this through new e-commerce sales channels, possibly increase sales support through auto-replenishing customer spares. They may also want to increase customer touch points, by improving self-service channels and using analytics to identify cross-selling sales initiatives. So first of all, any manufacturer needs to self-assess where they are today in their digital journey and identify specific objectives. We could spend a whole hour talking about this, but suffice to say, need to make an investment in understanding how the different technologies play in this journey.
Cindy, tell us a little more about these technologies and whether manufacturers today really understand the role that they play.
Well, you really need two different kinds of digital technologies. We already highlighted some of them, like analytics and IoT and robotic process automation. Those are the kind you add on to the solutions that run your business. In this table, we list those that are more foundational. They're embedded into applications like ERP. This includes architectures or platforms on which solutions are built, cloud enablement, IoT technologies that facilitate the autonomous exchange of data. Cloud enablement and software as a service is really the only technology, so to speak, that is even close to being mainstream today. Indeed, whether you run a solution that's cloud enabled on your own premises or in a private or public cloud, the ability to access anytime from anywhere is a significant advantage, and cloud enablement opens the door for this kind of connectivity, the kind of connectivity you need to be a full and active participation in the digital economy. IoT is also perceived as providing strong value. In some ways, it's not entirely new. Many manufacturers have been collecting data from sensors for decades, but without the connectivity of the internet, that data has largely been underutilized. These foundational technologies help us leverage that data by connecting it to other tools and technologies like predictive and cognitive analytics and also machine learning. We're also seeing a growing interest in AI or artificial intelligence, but probably with less real understanding of the different aspects and how they all interconnect. Natural language processing and machine learning are actually subcategories under the broader umbrella of AI. Ultimately, while all these are separate technologies, in order for them to be truly transformative, they really need to integrate with enterprise applications like ERP. Without this connection, manufacturers don't get any smarter, and neither do the leaders making business decisions.
Thanks, Cindy. So, Paolo, how is Syspro supporting manufacturers' journeys towards smart manufacturing?
I think that's a really great question, Darren. And the first thing is the acknowledgement that one size does not fit all. Enterprise applications built on modern architectures like Syspro makes digital transformation possible. Syspro, what we do is we consider flexibility and choice, and we ensure that we offer that which provides the choice and the flexibility for organizations to select how best they wish to deploy their ERP system. So whether it is ERP on-premise or in the cloud, that choice ultimately will be made by our customers. Customers additionally have the freedom to choose how they wish to engage with the applications, with the systems. And this is a critical aspect because we know that user interface or user experience is intrinsically linked into how people engage with the system. So we have to ensure that these systems are engaging. So in Syspro's case, dependent on choice, our customers can choose to either utilize Syspro capabilities, functionality via the web-based interface, which we've termed Avanti, or via the mobile, built for mobile interface, which is the Espresso platform, or they can utilize the traditional rich UI. By providing this, it provides them with the choice as to how best they wish to engage with the application.
Paolo, speaking of the cloud, as you mentioned, and based on the statistics that Cindy presented, can you provide some clarity on what cloud solution manufacturers should actually be considering?
So I think let's start off by just doing some defining. Cloud refers to the access to computing, to the software, storage of data over network, generally via the internet. You may also purchase a license for the software and install it on your own computers or those owned and managed by another company. But your access is through the internet and therefore through the cloud, whether it's private or public. SaaS is exactly what is implied, or affectionately known as SaaS, and that acronym stands for Software as a Service. Here, the software is actually delivered to its intended audience only as a service. It is not delivered on a CD or any other media. It does not require to be loaded on your servers. It is just simply available directly as a service to be accessed and generally paid for on a subscription or a use basis. So whether you run a solution on your own premise or in a private or public cloud, the ability to access the systems, the data, the information, anytime, from anywhere is a significant advantage. And cloud enablement, importantly, opens the door for the kind of connectivity you need as a full and active participant in the modern digital economy. Here, Syspro offers its solutions with the choice of deployment options, including traditional on-premise or through private cloud, but each option is designed for flexibility based on a specific customer's needs. Cloud is a connectivity mechanism in a hyper-connected world.
So once those foundation technologies are in place, Paolo, connectivity seems like the next logical step. Can you tell us a bit more about connected services and what possibilities it may present for manufacturers?
Most definitely, this is an area I'd like to delve into. It's evident that the greatest value of the digital, it lies in the ability to connect people, devices, processes, and data for faster and better decision making. So in a connected digital world, Syspro ERP allows you to connect and monitor every facet of your business. This is crucial, and it's a crucial element in a company's digital opportunity. Because as businesses' models shift, and Cindy explained that certainly in the digital transformation journey, it is vital for manufacturers to be considering the roles that devices or digital citizens, or in fact, supply chain participants, integration services between systems and platforms, or even connectors among systems as they become more integrated within a variety of applications. A good example of this is one of a customer that operates refrigerators. This includes the servicing of the refrigerators and on-selling these refrigerators to the retailers. In this case, the business may look into pivoting their traditional business model from the provision of refrigerators as a retail item to more of an asset management or asset as a service type of business. This sort of shift would result in a new method of engaging with their customers. So let me deep dive into each of these connected services layer and explain each facet to you. Firstly, if we look and we take a closer look at the first layer, there's the element of devices. Now, devices can range from mobile devices to individual operational devices, such as machinery and equipment and sensors and the Internet of Things. These typically can be consumed by either consumers or by industry itself. So by connecting these devices, manufacturers are now able to benefit by working from anywhere and having the ability to continually monitor and react to the environment. as Cindy alluded to earlier, this isn't a new concept. We've always been able to connect all of these devices, but now we have the ability to interrelate their information, their sensors, into the operational processes and react to changes quicker. Yeah, manufacturers need to consider what opportunity there is to integrate directly into the devices and machines that you have within the organization. The second layer is the concept of digital citizens. So this talks to the provision of digital access to your business through a bot or an automated agent that is communicating directly with its stakeholders, typically known as a chatbot. Here, Syspro's chatbot or digital citizen operates in conjunction with artificial intelligence, and it may be integrated into business processes via connected services. So in 2016, Syspro introduced Ken the Bot to not only act as a self-service agent, but now Ken has the ability to initiate a conversation with you. In other words, beyond the typical Siri-like questions, Ken can low listen to specific interests for you or items that matter to you most. It can then initiate an alert using your favorite messaging app, whether Skype, Messenger, Slack, or whichever social media platform you're on, and initiate that conversation so that you can now re-engage with the system. From a human perspective, corporate salespeople can now focus on building relationships with people and not just supply quotations. The third layer is supply chain portals. Here, we see Syspro offering the capability to facilitate online transactions between your business and its suppliers and customers. As a result, manufacturers can enjoy the benefits of self-service, handle customer orders far quicker, returns and even complaints with ease, and collaborate with suppliers through the procurement and inventory management processes. We believe that if you have the ability to have your customers and suppliers engage directly with you and inside your systems, this will allow you the fluidity of the transactions to flow quicker, and your organization would be far more competitive. The next point is integration services. So here, integration throughout the supply chain through portals becomes the next benefit. Syspro has done very well in this area for a number of years. And this leads me to the crux of connected services and the final layer, which is the connectors itself. The great thing about connected services is that you can consume existing services such as Amazon to disrupt your current business model and serve customers better. For example, a job shop may have manufactured 10 chairs that have been obsolete stock for months. Imagine now having the ability to quickly place that stock in an existing service such as Amazon or Shopify to on-sell and to have those items introduced to new markets. The last two layers, connected services, are also dependent on some foundational elements. Here we see the introduction of machine learning and artificial intelligence and event broadcast services. So in the new connected business ecosystem, where we've now tied in devices, stakeholders within the supply chain, customers and suppliers, integrated systems, platforms, and also connectors, we now have the ability to manage a lot of data and make sense of a lot of different areas that are providing that data. Here, machine learning and artificial intelligence integrates and plays a crucial role in providing you the insights for better decision-making processes. Finally, there's additionally the need to broadcast these as connected services. I guess in the old days, you would classify this as an RSS feed, where as a stakeholder, you could subscribe to an area of your interest and you're waiting for that piece of information to come to you. So here, Syspro's event broadcast services, ERP, is seen simply as a recording of data and referred to as a system of record, but we're transitioning it to a system of engagement. So it's therefore important to orchestrate that digital moment across that ecosystem. How we do this? Connected services are involved, where customers and suppliers can start to listen to specific data streams. In other words, imagine where you can correlate your sales activities with your marketing activities and broadcast that information on a social platform directly to your customers, such as Facebook.
Wow, thanks, Paolo. Cindy, do you have any final words of advice or any recommendations for any manufacturers listening to the webinar?
Well, I think finally, I think it's just important to understand how connected services will enable customers to extend ERP in so many different ways. I mean, think about including the integration to these supply chain portals by connecting intelligent devices. Think smartphones and IoT, connecting to third-party platforms. So think supplier networks and e-commerce sites, you know, like Amazon. So I would say some of the advantages that you should be able to expect include a more complete and consolidated view of the business and your operations, better and more access to data. Also, the orchestration of a unified workflow through not only throughout your own organization, but also including those external factors outside of your organization for easier collaboration and information sharing with business partners like customers and suppliers, all with a secure data exchange. As I mentioned before, without this level of connection and connectivity, manufacturers don't get any smarter, and neither do the leaders making the business decisions. And that's the real goal of digital transformation in manufacturing: smart manufacturing and smarter business decisions.
Thanks, Cindy. So Syspro offers choice and flexibility. It doesn't force a specific anything. You can select deployment, devices, and interfaces that work for manufacturers. The company has a long track record of delivering leading-edge solutions that are deployable ahead of much larger competitors. And for this reason, Syspro is constantly ranked among the world's top ERP solutions. Thank you, Cindy and Paolo, for joining me today. Here is some further information around Syspro. We have one business system, we have a global footprint in over 62 countries, and we have over 40 years of growth behind us. For further information on Syspro, please visit our website at syspro.com, and you can also visit the supplied link to have a look at the Mint Jutras report discussed in this webinar. Thank you for your time today, and thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Paolo.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.